your body. Welcome to the party where the nuts hang. It's just a rap thing. And when your heart's pounding out of your chest, you can feel the room shaking as you're running out of breath. If you're ready to rock, we'll just let it roll. Are you ready now? Are you ready to move with me? Just move with me. Move with me. Come on, get up and move with me. Just move with me. Move with me. Up on the floor. Move with me. Just move with me. Move with me. Come on, get up and move with me. Just move with me. Move with me. Up on the floor.
This podcast has been brought to you by Tag
Struggle!
Boom, boom, boom! And this is episode 17 of The Sounds of Struggle. I am Chris Perish.
I can't believe I survived 7 hours of Wrestlemania.
Me too.
It's funny, looking back, I have the graduation goggles where it's like, it wasn't so bad. But at the time, I remember not liking myself very much.
Yeah, that was a long show.
A very long show.
So we're gonna review it.
Let's just hope it doesn't take 7 hours. Let's shoot for 4.
Yeah, at least 5. And we're
Match number 1.
Yeah, it's the kickoff show.
Which had possibly one of the best matches on the card.
Yeah, I would actually say that was my favorite match. We had the Cruiserweight champion, the king of the Cruiserweights, Neville, up against Austin Aries.
A double.
The greatest man that has ever lived.
But now the greatest man without a cape.
Yeah.
Now he's wearing some sort of mink headdress on his back.
I think you should wear a mink cape. I think that would be cool. Just combine the two.
Yeah. A fluffy cape.
Right?
Yes.
Or do a little bit of a Jericho thing and do a light up cape.
We'll get to that later, but what lights up? That was good.
So, so what did you think of this match?
First of all, I want to point out that I think that entire show was windy as hell. I don't know why, it looked like there was a lot of wind.
It was a forecast of things to come.
An F5, perhaps?
Yeah, sure.
Anyways, good match. I enjoyed it. It was a little bit alright.
Yeah, I really liked how Neville actually I think this match they both just gave it each other's all.
Oh, yes.
And it was one of, I think, back and forth, probably the best match on the show in terms of showcasing both guys. There's maybe one other match, and that match we'll talk about in, a couple minutes. But yeah, I really liked how Neville showcased everything you wanted to see. He even did his famous red arrow, which he used to win the match. I wasn't really too overly sold with Neville winning. I was thinking this was a good way to maybe giving the title to Aries and keeping that going, because as long as that is your main event for 205 Live, I'm tuned in.
Yeah, absolutely. I will say, though, that happened a few times tonight where a lot of things that you would kind of, I wouldn't necessarily expect, but you kind of think was going to happen at WrestleMania didn't happen. So in a sense, maybe that's why I didn't enjoy it as much, but at the same time, that's why I tune in, because you don't know what's going to happen. Now,
are you only saying that we saw things that didn't happen because your predictions were so bad?
Oh, my predictions were awful. I think I was for 13 matches, I got 4 right.
Yeah, I was 2-8.
Yeah, so something terrible like that. Mrs. Meniac, however, out of 13 was 10. That bitch.
She cheated, though.
Oh, yeah.
She completely...
On me. I mean...
She completely read off my script. I mean...
Oh, yeah. But
no.
I did like this match either way. The way it ended, he did something heelish to get into it with the eye rake, and then the red arrow looked stiff. It looked kind of like it was Aries' fault, though. He kind of moved too much. And almost
but if anything, that made it look a little bit more devastating, though.
Yeah, it is true. It did look good.
Because I know. I remember when we saw it, we're like, "Ooh, there's no way Aries is kicking out."
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I guess the only good thing that as long as Neville's in the main event in 205
Yep.
live, you know it's going to be good because
Which we will get into because, I'll mention briefly, the 3 shows post-Mania were all amazing.
yes, and his match on Monday Night Raw was terrific as well.
Very impressed with Mustafa Ali. But again, we'll get into that later, but
Yep.
very impressed.
And yeah, so and this brings us to
Match number 2.
the pre-show, which was
Yeah, there's that was the pre-show. Then there was 2 matches on a kickoff show. Then there was a main show, which I don't get, but whatever.
talk about losing the crowd early.
Yeah, well, I think the reason they did it was because you
What?
get the pre-show for free. And then
I understand why they do it, but it's just like Jesus, like a little too much.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, we had the Intercontinental title match.
No, next was the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal.
Okay, well, I want to forget that match. That's why I'm not talking about it.
Congrats to Gronk for winning via Mojo Rawley. That hurts to say. Let's move on.
Now, if I thought Shaq in a battle royal was a bad idea,
I have to say, that match, the Battle Royal, had one of the greatest blown spots of all the time.
yeah, with the female security guard.
Yes, and she tried to stop Gronk from getting in the ring and nearly blew the entire spot, which is funny as hell.
K-Fab, lady, K-Fab.
She became a running butt of jokes in the Struggle household for the rest of the evening.
Yeah, that was one thing that was actually kind of nice because it was the Struggle and it's women watching.
The struggles and the misses struggles.
Their Struggle and their bitches.
You said it, but then again, so did I.
Whatever.
Anyways, yes, it was.
I'm sure that won't be the only thing that gets edited, so it's all good.
Yeah, that's true.
But then we had the Intercontinental title match.
Yes,
between Baron Corbin and Dean Ambrose. And this was, again, another one where I thought they were going to switch the title, and they didn't.
Yep.
And had Dean Ambrose retaining.
It was not bad, but to me it had too much of a Monday Night Raw / SmackDown Live kind of feel to it, not like a big Mania kind of match.
Now, is that because it wasn't on the Wrestlemania card?
No, because I mean, like the first match with Aries and Neville felt like it was a big match. This one just, to me, like we've seen it before. There's nothing really different.
But I mean, like, had they would have done something like in one of their entrances, or had that feel that it was larger than life,
Might have changed it, maybe.
because I felt there was a lack of that this year at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't feel like a lot of things were larger than life.
No, I agree. There was not a lot of. Some of the better entrances weren't that great. I mean, they were different, which was cool, but they were.
Not to mention, I mean, the one thing we'll point out was that the ramp
was 80 feet long.
Yeah, it was the same length of the Great Wall of China.
That's a long ramp.
It is. And they have a lot of fat people on the roster, and that wasn't nice.
No, yeah. Shout out to whoever thought it was a good idea to have Undertaker show up halfway down the ramp. That cut the end of the match in half.
Okay, yeah, we'll get to that, because I have a gripe on that one, too. But yeah, so we had the Intercontinental title match. It wasn't a bad match by any means.
No, but it's a match that I feel like we've seen it before.
Yeah.
Like, in the same sense. So again, it wasn't a bad match. Good match because a couple of quality workers, but I was just, I don't know, expecting something
feel
more.
the SmackDown match they had was way better.
Yeah, I agree.
So, and that was a SmackDown match right after Mania. So
technically, I'd be tonight.
Well, I mean, this goes on Thursday. So.
But yes, technically, as we record it just happened.
Yeah. So, but yeah, again, like I felt like the next match post WrestleMania was a lot better. So that was, I guess, a little bit of a letdown, or seemed like a letdown.
Yeah. Then we finally get to the main card.
Yay!
First match of the main card is Styles versus McMahon.
Yes, and this was the other match where I thought they did a really good job of showcasing both talents.
And you know what? I was expecting not much from this, and it's hard to say that Styles didn't work his ass off and just make this match actually way more enjoyable than I thought it would be.
No, but and this is a thing too. I felt last year when Shane McMahon was against The Undertaker, I mean, let's be honest, when it comes to an athletic standpoint, you didn't really have to give it too much to look better than The Undertaker, because as much as he is such a great big man,
Yeah.
the fact that he's 50 plus years of age,
53 this year, I believe.
it doesn't take a lot to, be given the perception, hey, you're more athletic than that guy.
Yeah.
However, I think we all know what we can get out of Shane McMahon, which we'll be impressed by what he's able to do between the ropes, but we know he's going to try something absolutely disgusting.
And you know what? His little bit of chain stuff that they did was that kind of surprised me. Like, I didn't think he had. I mean, that could very well just be AJ chaining around him, but you did it better at that than I thought he would.
Yeah, but I also expected them to key in on the fact that it was a traditional wrestling match, because they actually did make light of that on SmackDown leading up.
Yeah, that's true.
So I wasn't overly surprised that we saw wrestling. What I was actually impressed with was just the fact that Shane seemed to up his game.
Yes.
And because of that, well, I think he had to, but also he didn't make himself look like a joke.
No.
Which is very easy to do when a guy like AJ Styles is your counterpart.
Yeah, it's basically like when you get in the ring with most of the MPW roster.
Especially Tyler James.
Yeah, that guy broke his neck.
Yeah.
Did you break his neck, technically?
No, I think the ring post and a wet floor did. And then Kato, when he got hit by him when he jumped off the top rope.
Yeah, but to be fair, Tyler James is facing the wrong way because he's a knob.
We'll also be talking about facing the wrong way later in the show as well.
Yes, we will.
So, but yeah, no, AJ Styles finally gets a WrestleMania win.
Yep, and you know what? The way they went into it with knocking the ref out, that was incredibly, well done.
Yep.
Like, it didn't look like it was one of those, oh, the ref's gonna get hit. Oh, we got hit. It was like wow, the ref just got knocked out. That's impressive.
Well, one of the cool parts, too, was that AJ Styles went for the phenomenal forearm, and then when he hit it, you knew it was over, but at the same time, it just felt, when he hit that move, that they were almost going to give you a little bit more.
Yeah.
Because they did that with the Styles Clash earlier.
And they did it with the Coast to Coast, the fake out by AJ, and then the actual one by...
And then and AJ actually went earlier in the match, went for a springboard 450 that got actually reversed into a submission hold, which was actually really nicely done. It was safely done.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it was something that we didn't expect.
Yep.
And that was nice to see.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, AJ Styles gets the win here. It's very interesting to see, what this leads to. Hopefully they just use this as a sign of actually bringing AJ, toward the fan favorite side, because
or doing something else with them. Either way, I want to see more of them.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what's his next step now. I think we had the same feeling with Jericho last year.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Speaking of Jericho, next match, Kevin Owens versus Chris Jericho for the United States title.
Yeah, that was kind of my segue there. Nicely done. Pat on the back.
Very, very good. Pat.
Yeah. Woohoo! Yeah, I actually very much enjoyed this match.
This was my second favorite match on the card.
Because I thought, given what they did beforehand, a lot of people said this very well could have been a main event.
Oh, yeah.
And the closing out. I didn't feel the match itself was enough to be the one to close out the show, but I do feel that this was one of the matches at the end of the night you're going to say this is one of the top ones.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And you know what? One of my favorite parts was just the constant countering of each other.
Yeah.
Doesn't happen that often. They performed it excellently.
No, just the whole, they know each other well. I mean, they were best friends.
Well, supposedly.
No.
Wow.
I mean, they're not you and I best friends.
No, they're just a couple Canadians who kind of bonded over, stuff in the States. Meanwhile, you and I bond over everything, including bondage.
Yeah, Gold Bond. Word.
Medicated powder. Gold Bond, sponsor us. it'll be a good thing.
I like gold.
Bond.
It's kind of my thing.
Bond.
But speaking of gold, it was Kevin Owens who walked away with the gold and the United States title, and now wants to be known as the face of America, which I think is terrific.
His heel work is some of the best in the last 10 years, easily.
And what I thought was actually very interesting was Kevin Owens didn't win with his standard pop-up powerbomb. He actually finished Jericho off with a powerbomb on the apron, rolled him back in.
Which looks just horrible.
Yeah.
That looks so painful.
But that is why we love it.
Exactly.
So,
should have used a Steenalizer.
Yeah.
Or a package pile driver. He almost did one, and they turned it into that side slam thing, and it always gets me
It's like
too
a
excited.
package powerbomb.
Yeah, kind of. It always gets me way too excited. I know it's not going to happen because WWE won't allow it, but I always get way too excited when I see it.
Yeah, we can tell. And you were on the other side of the couch.
Sorry about that. I will pay for the dry cleaning.
Yeah. I didn't even know it was a recliner over there.
Yeah, there we go.
But yeah.
Speaking of reclining,
Yes.
the women's match was next for the Raw Raw Women's title. Sorry,
Segways are terrific.
except for when you're riding one and people see you on it.
Yeah, 'cause only fat people ride Segways.
I revert you to Paul Blart, Mall Cop.
Yeah. My wife loves those movies.
Oh, good God.
I love the fact I can sleep through movies.
Yes, yes, indeed. Anyways,
But yeah, no, this is one of 3 matches for me that was ruined before the match was even announced for WrestleMania, because to me the big moment was taken away Will Pryor. I saw no reason why Bayley needed to be crowned Women's Champion before WrestleMania.
no, I agree.
And
I think that Charlotte Flair's big first loss on a pay-per-view should have been at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
That would have been just really
and
better.
that should have been celebrated by the first title win of Bayley.
Yeah. It would have been just that much bigger and that much better. And plus the fact that we've seen the 3 of them, and now including Nia Jax, making the 4 of them, fighting so much in the past, month and a half, that by the time we got to Mania, I'm like, I honestly, I'm a huge fan of Bayley, huge fan of Charlotte. I think she is the workhorse of that division, but I just didn't really care. Like, I was just like, we've seen this so many times now.
Well, yeah, I think the only change was if Nia Jax was to walk out as champion, that's the only thing that would make it different, because we saw Sasha as champion, we saw Charlotte as champion.
We're currently seeing Bayley as champion.
Yeah, so the only thing that's new would have been Nia Jax, and right away...
We were looking for someone new.
Yeah. But right away we saw the same when it took Bayley, Sasha Banks, and Charlotte to eliminate Nia Jax first.
Which, I don't know why, maybe I skipped over this in the last week of Raw, but I didn't realize it was a Fatal 4-Way elimination match. I missed that. Just like right before the show, how I didn't know it was the tag titles was a ladder match. I clearly was not paying attention. But, I mean, c'est la vie.
Well, this is why it doesn't hurt to, read up on your material.
Reading for squares.
Yeah. But, and then actually the one elimination I missed was the next one, because I think I went to go grab a beer, and then all of a sudden, boom, Sasha Banks is out.
You know what the funny part is? You grabbed me a beer and I was watching. I don't remember how she got eliminated.
So, yeah, and I think this is just, to me, this was just I don't want to say a disappointing match, but to me, it just didn't do anything for me.
But I will say that Sasha Banks had one of the better entrances of Mania, which is sad because it was just her riding on the back of a kind of cool-looking car.
Yeah.
But that really was one of the better entrances.
Of the night, too.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then it was kind of overdone by another boss, so I don't know.
The underboss, what you might call him. We'll get to that later.
No, I think she'd be over boss. Anyway, but yeah, no, and then we saw it come down to Charlotte and Bayley, and the one thing that I did like from Charlotte is she pulled out a corkscrew moonsault
It's impressive.
to the outside, and which was very nice. Just shows that, yes, like you said, Charlotte is a workhorse.
She is the workhorse of that division.
So, this is actually the one girl who I would love to see Asuka in the ring with.
Yes.
I think that'd be a very cool dynamic. But staying on with the match, it ended up being Bayley who hit Charlotte with the Macho Man elbow. Ooh, yeah. And
Dig it.
For the 1, 2, 3.
Still not talking.
Cream of the crop.
Nobody does it better.
Yeah.
By the way, speaking of Asuka, we should probably after this go into the whole NXT Takeover show because we haven't really talked about that yet.
Well, yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, it's gonna be a lot of wrestling.
But nothing's bigger than WrestleMania, so of course we had to.
That's not true. Supercard of Honor.
Yeah, no, I've been to one. No, WrestleMania is still better.
Fair enough. Next match. Speaking of Supercard of Honor, a little crossover, if you will, in the tag title match for Raw. It started off as a triple threat, which that was when they first debuted. Was it Cesaro and Sheamus' new ring entrance, which I kind of like. It was not WrestleMania worthy, but it's not a bad little
entrance. It wasn't
entrance.
a new entrance. They just had new gear.
Well, no, they tweaked their entrance.
Yeah.
But still, I liked it. It shows more unity. I'm believing them more and more.
Unity!
I'm believing them more and more as a tag team. Unity.
We have air fresheners that say Unity in both our cars.
It's because we are united.
I think we've literally had those in our cars for, 2 years now? And we just keep them.
Since I came back from my hiatus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
it's a little peace offering gift.
And then, yes, Cesaro and Sheamus, which I think they need a tag name, don't they?
Yes. Which we'll get into the whole Monday Night or Raw with them afterwards. It was fantastic.
Yeah.
But
anyway, they were against Enzo and Cass.
Who's their entrance was it's pretty much the same as always.
Yeah, but hearing 75,000 people spell soft was
that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then against Gallows and Anderson, and I like them. I've always liked them. Since they're good.
The club. The Good Brothers.
They're good brothers. They're good brothers.
And
out comes the New Day. And the thing I loved about this was not only were they in gear, which made it give it the illusion of it.
Yes, but they weren't, because as soon as they came out, I spotted 3 differences. And I knew it really wasn't going to be the New Day.
Okay, explain.
Okay, 1, Big E wasn't wearing knee pads.
He never does, though.
Oh, yes, he does.
Really? Because, I mean, I've seen so many matches where he does not wear knee pads.
Yeah. He has them, but he doesn't always put them on.
Okay.
And then Kofi Kingston, you could visibly tell, wasn't wearing his knee pads because he had spaghetti legs.
I'll be completely honest, wasn't checking out Kofi Kingston's legs.
Yeah, well...
More checking out Xavier Woods.
Yeah, well, and we all know that he never wrestles, so...
True.
Yeah, so... Then all of a sudden So, I knew right away that the chance for the New Day in that tag match was deleted.
Yes. Speaking of deleted, how they teased it like they're starting to walk down the ramp, and then the Hardy Boys music hit.
Yes.
Easily my favorite part of the show.
And
I will be completely honest, I marked out.
all the 8-year-old girls from 20 years ago who loved the Hardy Boys and now are 28, well, their big girl panties got even wetter when the Hardy Boys came back to the WWE.
You know who we're talking about. Yes, we're talking to you. Yes, we are.
So,
Little inside joke there. Fellas. Folks.
fellas.
But anyways, they come back, and it was actually, I mean, a spot fest as it would be with the, fatal 4-way tag title ladder match. Good match, though. And
yeah.
Jeff Hardy did his throwback where he climbed the 20-foot ladder outside the ring and destroyed Cesaro, badly hurt Sheamus, and it actually was reminiscent of the first match I ever remember seeing in WWE, which when he did that back at WrestleMania 17, I want to say.
And then in process, we saw Matt Hardy, who did not look broken.
No, and we can get into that a little bit later.
But he did look excited because he was climbing the ladder to grab the tag team titles, and the Hardy Boys became the new Raw tag team champions.
They very well could be the only tag team to ever lose the Ring of Honor tag titles one night, the next win the WWE, all while holding the TNA ones, technically.
Yeah. So
and they made custom ones of their own. They're actually really nice.
Yeah, the Omega tag titles.
They're really nice.
So in the span of 24 hours, the Hardy Boys could have been considered the holders of the TNA tag titles, the holders of the Omega tag titles, holders of Ring of Honor tag titles, and then...
And the Superkick titles that the Young Bucks have.
Yeah, and then also the Raw tag team titles.
Not a bad little career in 24 hours.
I would say it's wonderful.
It's a little bit of all right.
Yeah. So, yeah, no, it's cool seeing the Hardy Boys back. I think I'm very interested to see who they work with moving forward. Just like when the Dudley Boys came back, it's a little bit different because I think the Hardy Boys have a lot more to offer.
I have a theory on that, but I won't get into it now because that could spoil stuff for later.
Yeah, we can do it now.
The Revival.
If they
stay on Raw because of... What if the Hardy Boys go over to SmackDown?
What happens if they flip the tag titles?
That's what I mean.
And then you have red tag titles on SmackDown and blue on Raw.
That'd be funny as hell.
Yeah. Anyway, we'll get to that whole thing later.
Next was one of the most anticlimactic matches on the show, in my opinion. The John Cena, Nikki Bella versus Miz and Maurice. It started off, and man, were Miz and Maurice over.
Well, yeah.
I also revert back to my earlier comment about being windy because... Well, you couldn't see Maurice's face because of all her hair in her face. Just kept blowing in her face.
Yes, but you did see her wonderful, wonderful assets, though.
Assets being the key words.
Yep. There's two of them. And they were a little bit of all right.
They were a lot all right.
She looks like a nice lady.
She does look like it. She has a great personality.
She's Canadian, too.
Canadian!
So,
although, I don't know, well... I always make the joke.
She counts.
I always make the joke you can't fully count the French, but it counts.
What?
Certain people you can count.
I mean, it's her and Natty, so I mean they both count.
Yeah.
And I'd rather look at Maurice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways.
Hearts are messed up, people.
Yes, they are. The match started off where Maurice and Nikki Bella squared up a little bit, then she tagged out. Cena and Miz did a little bit, where Miz basically beat the crap out of him.
Yeah,
it was fun.
Owned Cena for a bit.
It was fun. I enjoyed it. The crowd was behind him. He could be a face. Like, he's more so over now than when he actually was a face.
Yeah, and he wasn't even trying.
No. He was kind of just goofing around, which was kind of fun to see.
Well, that's what happens when you do entertaining skits.
Yeah. And then, of course, there was the flip, 1, 2, 3, boom. Look, Cena and Nikki Bella win.
Yeah, your typical Cena match where Cena's he's getting beaten up, then all of a sudden he reverses it, boom, gets his stuff in.
We did get to see a Moose Knuckle Shuffle.
But we did see a 10-knuckle shuffle?
Yeah, I'm sure there was more knuckle shuffling later that night.
Yeah.
And then
because
the long-awaited whole, hey, I'm going to finally propose. And it's like, it just felt so fake. Not because, whatever you call it scripted or whatever, but she didn't seem super excited. She didn't seem shocked. She seemed like she was waiting for it. And just, whatever. I don't know. I felt like it was a huge waste of time.
Well, let's just look at the bright side. And if we had to be forced to be with a girl, now we don't have to be with a Bella.
That's true.
So, yeah.
That's true.
Yay.
Hooray.
Way to take one for the team, Cena.
Yes, you are whatever.
So loyalty and respect can only get you so far.
Loyalty in the shape of a $5 trillion rock that was... Actually, it was quite impressive. I'll give him that. Yeah,
Dwayne Johnson was not needed because we saw the rock and it was glistening.
Yeah, it was impressive. That rock could probably flip a guy on a bike.
I'd like to smack down on my jealousy.
Why, you want Cena to propose to you? I could probably arrange it.
Well, I mean, if you were to pawn that thing off, the amount of money you can get for that.
Nah. It's been on her finger now. It's worthless.
Yeah, it's true.
Moving on!
Yeah.
Okay, the next match was Rollins versus Triple H.
Which was very good.
It was good. The only part I didn't like was when Rollins came out to go to the ring, and it looked like he was carrying the Olympic torch.
Yeah, and then he put it on the stage, and all of a sudden this LED lights started flaming.
Which we'll get into flames on the stage later, because that's funny.
Yes, it was.
His was okay. I didn't understand Triple H's, why he had all the cops. That didn't make sense. Why do you have all these police officers? I mean, I guess it's for show, but it's the same with why does Goldberg have all these security guards? Isn't Goldberg the one beating people up? Why does he need security guards? I don't get it. But again, that's just me. He did have a nice tricycle.
Yeah, that his wife rode on the back.
So it kind of showed off her assets a little bit too.
That's fine by me.
Yeah, that's fine. But it was.
The match was really good, actually.
The match was good, yes.
Too many pedigree teasers for me, though.
Yeah. I was really hoping we'd see a curb stomp.
Yes, me too. The return of the curb stomp. Like, come on.
Call it American History X. American History exclamation mark. Something. Anyways.
I actually thought that Seth Rollins was going to use this opportunity to, get something else and, come up with something else that maybe Triple H never saw. So, a new finisher kind of a deal.
Phoenix Splash?
Well, he did hit it, which was probably one of the few times he's ever hit it.
He almost always misses it, so...
Yeah. So, I mean, that was nice. I do like the gold that he had.
It was different.
I could have done without the feathers on the side. But
yeah, that was a little weird, but, I mean, whatever.
Yeah, it's WrestleMania.
Everyone got to be a little bit of peacock.
Yeah, so, it was a good, the finish was really good, though.
Mm-hmm.
Where we saw Stephanie McMahon, I mean, they ended up getting a table set up on ringside.
Fairly early in the match, too.
Yeah, and then Stephanie McMahon gets on the apron, and then they tease the fact that Triple H is going to go hit Rollins. He ducks, almost hits his wife, turns around, gets
super kicked.
Yeah, right in the face.
Right in the mush.
Triple H sells it, goes, and hits his own wife into the table.
She took it like a champ, too.
I know.
She destroyed her assets.
Epic wood break.
Yeah.
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 The only thing that would hurt worse was a chop to the face.
Pow! Right in the kisser.
But then again, who chops faces?
I chop bellies.
I mean, I chop baby faces, but not actual faces, because that's just mean. I know how to chop.
You know what? I chop baby faces in the face, depending on who it is.
Yeah.
If they deserve it.
Depends.
I've done it before. To a female. You know who.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways. So Seth Rollins gets the win, slays the king.
Yeah, he does.
Moves on from this, which I'm happy with, because Now, my question is Seth Rollins really hurt, or is this...
I'm going to say, based on the fact we saw what happened to his knee when Samoa Joe came out and attacked, I'm going to say he wasn't out of action hurt. I think he tweaked it, though, because it did look disgusting when it happened. I think he had maybe pulled it, strained it, but I don't think he actually was, hurt to the point what they were saying.
Because...
I think it was a worked shoot.
Yeah, I don't know. I just don't buy that he was as badly hurt. I do think this was them going back a year and revisiting the fact that Rollins did miss a WrestleMania.
I bet you anything it wouldn't have been like that if it hadn't been for the Samoa Joe thing. If his knee didn't buckle kind of awkwardly and he had to be out for 1 week, I bet you they wouldn't have done it maybe as nearly as much. He probably would still attack the knee.
Unless this was part of the whole idea.
Do you think he purposely buckled?
Because, I mean, that's also the one thing that I was a little let down was Samoa Joe was nowhere to be found in this match.
He wasn't even on Mania, which is kind of weird.
No. So that's kind of my thing. Was Samoa Joe a complete part of bringing this in? Was him coming in and injuring Seth Rollins part of the whole thing?
It's very possible.
And them just going back a year and actually capitalizing on Seth Rollins' legit knee injury.
Yeah, it might be.
So, I don't know. Either way, it was a good match.
Yeah.
I'm glad that now they can move on from this.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be interesting seeing where they move off to. We'll talk about that later. But yeah, Seth Rollins gets the win here.
Yes. Next one, Orton versus Wyatt. This is a weird match.
Yes, and I have...
In a good way. I kind of liked it.
I have a better way of this being finished, but I'll say that when we explain it. So...
Bray Wyatt has rubbed his dead sister all over him.
Well,
basically.
That was before. But yes.
Got some sort of chocolate voodoo superpowers.
But yes, now Bray Wyatt can change...
The weather.
Well, that. But he has now made the canvas into an open season of showing whatever you can, where he had shown worms
and maggots.
Yeah,
and there's some very, very beautifully done memes and Photoshop stuff that made me very happy.
Yes, but staying on the match.
Okay.
He used these these illusions and these
to mess with
Randy Orton
and his head.
Yeah, so to get him kind of confused. So every time he was looking at the mat, all of a sudden now you see all these maggots. But I mean, it didn't really work.
No, he still ended up taking an RKO and losing.
Yeah,
not a bad match, but just it didn't make much sense as to why Randy Orton did all this in the first place. And like, oh, I'm going to follow you. Now I'm attacking you. And they build Bray Wyatt up for the first time, like seriously for the first time in his career, just to do that. My only thing is now that there's the change up with the superstars, maybe he's going to Raw. That's the only thing I could think of.
See, and this is just how I would have changed the whole thing. First off, I would have had Bray Wyatt winning the Rumble instead of Randy Orton.
Mm-hmm.
And then I would have Bray Wyatt helping Randy Orton win the title at the Elimination Chamber.
And then turning on him?
No, and then Bray Wyatt assuming that Randy Orton was going to lay down to Bray Wyatt and hand him the championship at WrestleMania. Where the week's building, all of a sudden, right before, you get Randy Orton turning on Bray, standing up against him, and then we come into the WrestleMania match. We see the same illusions made, like where he does on the screen, but instead of the maggots, instead of the worm, instead of all that stuff, right when Randy Orton is slamming the mat for the RKO, you see just a visual of a girl that appears to be dead and buried, and then just looks, her eyes open, and you just hear he's got the whole world in his hands. Just that song, and it looks like this is Sister Abigail, who everyone at this point now thinks is dead, buried, burnt, everything.
And that's when he does his whole stand-up, does the bridge and walks towards him.
Yeah.
Sister Abigail finished.
1, 2, 3.
That would be really sweet.
That's exactly how I would have wrote it. Because I actually like the fact they used the canvas as a distraction. I thought it was different. Maybe a little cheesy, but it works.
You know, a Bray Wyatt doing that kind of stuff versus a broken Matt Hardy could be gold.
Yeah, but I think that's too easy. But I mean, at the same time, do we get broken Matt Hardy if the Bray Wyatt character doesn't show up?
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know. But at the same time, this way, then you could have Randy Orton chase for the title, kind of a deal.
And you know what? Vince should have called us. We've been telling you for weeks, give us a call, we'll help you out. And we could have made it better, but you didn't. That's your loss. You lost millions of dollars because of your big-headedness.
Selfish. Do the best for business, bud. Yep. Call us. You have our numbers. Speaking of business, what's the next match on the card?
Brock Lesnar. That's it. Just him.
Versus a Jew.
Well, you're not wrong.
No, Goldberg and Brock Lesnar.
Here's a question. If he's Jewish and he's actively into Judaism, where does he clip his Hillel? Because that'll just fly right off his head if it's windy. Guy's as bald as me.
Oh.
Think he grows like just a single strand of hair to clip it there? That'd be really funny.
There are things in life that I try not to think about.
These are the kind of things that keep me up at night.
Yeah, these are the things that I just don't think about at night. And that's why I can sleep very well.
This is why I'm stuck with insomnia. I have problems. Many, many problems. Back to the match.
Yes.
Surprising. What do we see, like 10 suplexes?
Brock Lesnar gave Bill Goldberg 10 suplexes.
And 1 F5?
Yep, he teased 1 F5, gave 1 F5, I believe.
And Goldberg hit, what, 5 spears?
5 spears, one that broke the announcer booth barrier.
Yeah.
Hit a jackhammer, Lesnar kicked out.
Which was surprising. I thought it was done there for sure.
Yeah, so this kind of ends that story.
Hopefully.
Brock Lesnar becomes the new Universal Champion.
Yep. And we'll get more into that for the Monday Night Raw stuff. But I'm interested to see where it goes.
So, yes. So, I mean, I think this is one of those matches where we kind of just knew what was going to happen. So, it wasn't a surprise. The match was, I guess, better than what we thought it would be.
It was. It was longer than I thought it would be, too. That's probably the third longest or second longest match that Goldberg's ever had.
But yet, still only 5 actual moves done in this match.
In 5 minutes.
Yeah. Spear, jackhammer, leapfrog.
Yes, you got to count that.
German suplex, F5.
Yep.
And then a 6th as a pin if you want to get truly technical.
7th as a title raising above your head.
Yeah, but that was after the match.
That's a good point.
Yeah. That wasn't a move.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So, yeah.
Then they decided to squeeze in the women's SmackDown title.
Yeah.
Which I honestly didn't think they'd do. I really didn't. I thought they were just going to drop it.
Well, I think at this time it was 9 o'clock our time, and we thought the show was going to be over at 9 or 9:30.
Yeah, and a whole extra hour.
Yeah, we did not know that.
No, I was one tired person after, but
yeah.
I digress.
I actually stopped drinking beer and had an energy drink, so I was good to go.
Yeah, I didn't do that because I'm dumb.
Yeah.
It was not a bad match.
It was rushed, I felt.
Very, very rushed.
Very rushed.
All over the place.
And I have the same opinion for this match as I did the Raw Women's, where, well, first off, it was a 6-woman non-elimination. Naomi became the new SmackDown Women's Champion.
Which, if you gave it to her a little while ago, why would you take it away because of the injury and then give it back to her?
Well, I don't think a lot of people expected her to get hurt. But my thing was, why give Naomi the reign at Elimination Chamber when you could have waited to give her the big moment at WrestleMania?
Agreed.
And I just don't understand why they were so quick on the trigger to make a title switch and then all of a sudden this moment. Like, to me, it's just, I've always dreamt about winning a title at Mania, not walking in as champion.
Oh, I don't mind walking in as champ as long as it makes sense and I get to keep it.
No, but, like, you always, like, dream. If your first, like, heavyweight, if you're going to win the WWE title, your dream scenario is winning the Royal Rumble, going on and winning it at WrestleMania.
True. Or Money in the Bank. I'll take that, too. You know what? I'll just, like, be there.
No,
overall, but
if you can go to WrestleMania in front of that crowd, win a title, have the moment, close at WrestleMania, have those fireworks going, that's a moment.
Like a Daniel Bryan moment, yeah.
Yeah, and that's something that nobody will be able to take away. But my thing is, on here, you win it at Elimination Chamber, you get hurt, you got to relinquish it, and then you win it again. Yeah, maybe it has a good redemption feel.
But this also goes back to the whole thing with Seth Rollins. How hurt was she really? I mean, yeah, she missed a couple weeks, but clearly okay for Mania.
Well, she did come back the SmackDown before, or the 2 before, and I don't think a lot of people expected it, because they were definitely flat out expecting. They had a different match in place, had she not been ready to go. That's where it was against every woman on the roster.
Yeah.
And I think that was an easy way to bring her back in if she's ready to go, and a way of, if she's not, okay, everyone gets a shot.
Yeah.
I think it was a safe play.
Yeah. Now, say she wasn't ready to go. Does Alexa Bliss retain?
I would say so.
Yeah.
That, or I'd put it on Mickie James and then have Mickie James and Alexa Bliss go after it.
Alexa Bliss is a little bit alright.
So is her mom.
Yes. Yes, either one or both of them could join the struggle.
And then Murphy, too, just because, good job, buddy. See what I did there?
Yeah.
See what I did there?
Yeah. You're talking about my dog, aren't you?
No, I'm talking about the actual Buddy Murphy.
Oh, him too. Yeah.
See what the Murphy.
Yeah,
good job, buddy.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of good job, buddy. In enters Roman Reigns.
Who I actually felt sorry for in this match.
Yes, I did too. Versus The Undertaker.
Yes, and we talked about the ramp being super long and Undertaker coming in halfway, but just also taking into account, yes, he came out halfway through the ramp.
And he still took so damn
It still
long.
took 10 minutes to get to the ring.
10 minutes.
Oh, I'm exaggerating. It probably took a lot more.
Yeah. But still, like, holy crap.
I mean,
imagine if he did the whole thing.
I guess this was the last time we'll see it.
Yes.
But
And honestly, you do
you
kind of feel
didn't know
bad.
that at the time, though.
No, but at the same time, you do kind of feel bad for Roman Reigns because it looked like when they did the basic stuff at the start, it looked like they had some chemistry, but when they started to try and do a little more complex things, it just seems like one of them was one step like too fast or too slow for the other. They didn't seem to have that chemistry that you need to have a classic WrestleMania match. It just seemed a little choppy and...
Well, this is where I get back to the whole, I think, the fact that the majority of the athletes in WWE now, like the younger guys, are just one step above certain guys, and I think we saw that with Seth Rollins and Sting.
Yeah.
As much that I absolutely respect The Undertaker and think he's one of the best athletes for a guy his size.
Not only that, the best gimmick probably ever in WWE.
Yeah. And literally 25 plus years of being the most respected guy in the business.
Yep.
The godfather, the true godfather of the locker room.
Yep.
Like, there's leaders, but he is the godfather.
He's the Godfather.
There's just not a single person. It's really hard to say a single that really anybody's really that much better than he was, because from start to finish, he was as consistent as he possibly could get out of a performer.
Yep. Even when he's getting a little bit older, and he was able to cover up what he could and beat the hell out of himself. I think he needs hip surgery.
Well, 6 years ago, he still had one of the best matches with Shawn Michaels.
Oh, absolutely.
And it's not like he had
was that 6 years ago?
Well, was that not 28?
No, he had 25 and 26. Shawn Michaels ones. So it would have been...
So,
8,
9?
8 and 7 and 8 years ago.
Who did he wrestle at 28? Was it Punk?
No, it was... Because it was... Michaels, so 26, 27.
No, Punk was 29.
Yeah, it was, what was it, Triple H. He did Triple H.
Oh, yeah.
After that.
I try to forget those matches.
I didn't mind them, but they weren't nearly as good. After coming off of Shawn Michaels, it's hard.
Yeah. So, anyway. Undertaker definitely... It was hard because Roman Reigns ended up winning this match.
But it was kind of anticlimactic.
Yeah, and...
Like, you could just tell, I think Undertaker, you could just tell he was just starting to get in over his head.
Yeah, and I think this is where I think it was better. I think this is why I would have loved a Sting Undertaker match, because the guys didn't need to do too much, and they could have just had a slow-paced match that kept everyone in. Mm-hmm. Just like, in a way, The Rock and Hogan... They didn't do a lot, but they had the crowd there, and I think that could have been a great situation here.
It's too bad, too, because the match started off, like, not only hot, but good. Like, things worked. And then, I think as the match went on, you could just see the fatigue setting in and Taker. He's 53. I
think the physicality, too, I think is just...
It's this new generation with Roman Reigns and that, it's different from what, used to be. And
the only reason why I say I felt sorry for Roman Reigns was just because you saw this kind of as it going on, and you just didn't want to see... Like, I don't think Roman deserves any negative...
No, he did everything he possibly could.
Yeah. And you can definitely tell that he tried so hard to make this one of the best matches you can make. And
he worked his ass off as much as he possibly could. And unfortunately, sometimes it just doesn't happen.
And
we would know. Sometimes it just doesn't happen.
Yeah. And he ended up beating The Undertaker, which is such a huge rub for him.
Oh, yeah. Big boost.
But at the end of the day, this seemed to be Undertaker's final match.
I think we're going to see him one more time.
Say, I don't.
No, we're going to see him one more time. At the Hall of Fame.
Nope.
He's gonna fave it. He's not gonna show up.
Yeah, he's going to TNA. He's never coming back.
No.
Roman Reigns will not let him. No, I'm just kidding.
It's Roman Reigns or
no, of course I think we got our main event for next year's Hall of Fame.
Oh, absolutely. But the only thing I found kind of funny was they were showing replays of the match that was over when it was over, and then they cut back to the ring, and suddenly he's in full gear again with the hat, and then he takes it all off. We're like,
well, I mean,
I get the symbology,
the symbolism. Wow,
come on,
word struggles.
No. What movie is that from?
I really wasn't paying attention.
What's the symbology here? Symbolism. What is it? Symbolism. We're Duck Saints. Anyways.
Okay, we're going way too off topic.
Yes, continue.
Oh. But, the symbolism of The Undertaker just laying it all in the ring. He took off the gloves, folded up his trench coat, put his head down.
Yep. It kind of looked like he got hit with the lightsaber and then turned into the Force. Just gone.
And then I guess what was the weird thing was that stuff was kept in the ring a good half hour after the show.
Because there's a picture where there's no one in the stands, and it's just people taking down the rings and stuff, and a picture of his gear.
Yeah.
Although I did think it was kind of interesting and cool that he for once, I would say, broke character and went over and kissed his wife.
Well, and I think
that's kind of when it's like, holy shit.
This
is real.
That was the telling moment, too.
Yeah.
If you were going to... I mean, and let's face it, as much as we made fun of John Cena proposing, that was as real of a moment as you can have for those two.
Because they're so fake?
Well, it's... hey...
You just gotta...
He proposed in front of 75,000 people.
I don't think he has problems performing in front of big audiences. In any way, shape,
well, she does. However...
He could have been the third cameraman.
No. He was probably on Good Morning America.
Yeah,
anyway, but if you were to get emotional about that, the emotional aspect about watching The Undertaker for the last time, that one was...
I don't think it's hidden as, kind of set in yet. I think, honestly, for me, it'll set in once he's inducted next year, which assuming that's what happens, and we go and watch WrestleMania, and the WrestleMania ends, and we don't see Taker.
Well, that's what I mean.
I think
you're going to see a WrestleMania without Undertaker, and outside of WrestleMania 2000, you have to go a long time.
Yeah, I guess first one was WrestleMania...
Was it?
91. Whichever one 91 was. That was his first one they did.
Well, 91 would have been WrestleMania 7, I believe.
Yeah. That would have been the first one he went to.
Yeah.
Defeated Jimmy Snuka.
Yep. And then, since then, he's only missed...
He's been on something of a tear. He only had one show that was disqualification win against Giant Gonzalez. Which, speaking of which, where's that guy at?
Maybe he's dead, I don't know. He had one of the best bodysuits of all time, though.
It was awkward with the amount of fake hair in certain places. That was weird.
That's why it was awesome.
Dude needs to shave. Needs to manscape.
I would love to have a bodysuit like that.
I'll just give you me.
I want a bodysuit like that.
I'll give you me.
Because then I don't have to work out and I look absolutely tan and ripped.
We should get bodysuits.
That would be fantastic.
Struggle suits. Yeah, for the struggle in all of us.
That'd be strugglicious, bitch.
Yes, it would. So that's Mania. Shall we start?
Well, let's go right into the takeover because there was 5 matches on that card.
Which was,
I believe there's 5 or 5 or 6.
There's
yeah.
5.
So it started off
with
the Sanity
versus It would have been No Way Jose, but they did an angle which I really liked at Access where Sanity attacked No Way Jose.
Huh.
I like it. It's a little bit something extra that when you're there, you get to see it.
Yeah. So we ended up getting Sanity against the team of Ty Dillinger,
Yes.
Roderick Strong,
Yes.
Ruby Riott,
Yeah.
and the new partner of Cassius. Oh no.
Oh, no.
Oh no.
Oh, no!
And the match actually was pretty good.
Man, some of the strikes that Ono had were, man, you literally just say his name. They were scary good. But I guess he's known for that. So.
Yeah, he hits like a hero.
Yeah, he hits like a hero.
But yeah, so anyway, Sanity ends up getting the win here.
Yep.
Their big man gets the pin on Ty Dillinger, which I guess we could have saw a little bit more. Could have looked a little bit more into it if we wanted to.
Yeah, I guess we could have.
But yeah, so Sanity gets the win on this one. And then we move on.
Second match was debuting Aleister Black. I guess technically debuting because he was Tommy End before.
Yeah. Aleister
Yes.
Black makes his official NXT Takeover debut.
Sweet entrance, by the way.
Yeah, wicked song.
Works. His character's just it's different. I like it.
Yeah, and
I like. I don't. Won't be too long before he's. I wouldn't say at the top, but making his way up to the top.
And then he was against Cien Almas.
CN something. That Mexican guy.
Yeah, who is so much better as a heel.
So much better as a heel.
I think he just is a lot more comfortable.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
but this match actually was really good.
It was. I enjoyed it.
And Aleister Black got the win.
Yep. He's got some sick kicks.
Him.
Also some good strikes with the legs.
Yes.
And then I think my favorite match was the Triple Threat tag match.
Which we saw new NXT tag team titles.
Yes, we did.
Actually, we actually saw new titles for all champions in
they're
NXT.
all nice.
Yes.
It's nice.
It's a little bit of all right.
No, it's nice.
Yeah.
But that match, it was good. It was really odd seeing the Revival and DIY kind of working together.
Yes.
But they did it really well. They kind of did each other's tag finishes with like one guy from each team.
Yeah.
That was cool.
I thought that would have been a perfect way to eliminate them.
Yeah, I agree.
So I was kind of upset that that's not the case. I was also, say what, I was also a little bit disappointed that DIY was the first team eliminated.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, I guess with what transpired Monday night, I guess that makes sense. Give them a little bit more of a going away thing, but I don't know.
Yeah. But anyway, Authors of Pain then eliminate Revival, retain the NXT Tag Team titles.
I want to point out, Mrs. Meniac is watching SmackDown right now, and she just got to the point of a certain somebody debuting, and her response is WTF. So we'll get to that eventually.
Yep. And then we get to what I thought was my favorite match of the night was Asuka versus Ember Moon for the women's title.
It actually would have been, except for the finish for me. That made it just not quite as... you can't touch a ref.
And my thing is, the fact that the ref was pushed from behind may be a little bit of a, okay, he doesn't understand, how it happened. He didn't see it.
Yeah.
Couldn't call it. But also, if he was just a maybe he didn't want to disqualify because he didn't want to take the opportunity away. We've seen this happen before. It wasn't the best, but at the same time, I think it brings a little bit of heel Asuka out.
Yep.
Keeps it going, and I'm not going to lie, I want to see this match again.
Oh, absolutely. No, the match up until that point, I loved it. It was great.
And I think,
but it was just that little push. I mean, yes, I see your point. You can't really call it because you don't really see it. You don't really know. But something that forceful, you got to kind of wonder, she didn't just accidentally bump into him. That was a forceful push.
But okay, she pushed him into the ropes. She didn't kill him. So by the fact that the ref was grabbing his arm, and it was come on.
Well, wrestling is notoriously just kind of weak.
But he had a bigger arm than the person who pushed him.
Big arms don't mean squat.
Oh, God, no. Big arms means you don't squat.
Yeah, true story.
So, but yeah, Oscar gets a win there. And I was a big fan that it wasn't a submission win.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's something that I liked. Keeps everything kind of fresh and going on. So, again, NXT Chicago, May 20th, Takeover.
We should go.
No.
Why not?
Because it's my dad's birthday and I'm in Lethbridge.
Well, bring the show and your
I
dad
can't.
with us.
I'm too busy trying to become the new Pure Power Wrestling champion.
Fine.
Responsibilities, man.
Yeah, responsibility struggles.
It's not my fault that I'm kicking ass in PPW, alright?
Actually, it is your fault, but it's a good thing.
Yeah. So, anyway, moving on. This brings us to the NXT Championship match between the glorious Bobby Roode against Shinsuke Nakamura, which was a great match.
It was a great match.
Saw Bobby Roode retain his title.
Spoilers!
Yeah. Kind of a result show. But yeah.
Hashtag spoiler struggles.
And yeah, this was a sign to come because we will then touch on what happened on SmackDown.
Yes.
But first, we're going to go to Monday Night Raw.
I think we should probably just breeze through it because some of it's just eh.
Yeah.
Very beginning, how Roman Reigns came out, that was funny.
Yeah.
Very funny.
The Raw after WrestleMania brings out the best crowd. Jericho says it's the most hilarious crowd.
Beach Ball Mania.
Yeah.
Apparently there's a beach ball going through the crowd.
Yeah.
Roman Reigns basically walks out and said, "It's my yard now," but it takes like 10 minutes to do it. It was very, very funny. The Hardys defended their titles against Good Brothers, retained. Debuting Revival. That made me very, very, very happy.
The New Day came out and issued an open challenge, which brought out the Revival.
The best part of the match for me, when they came out, the first thing they did was kick over that bike. Insta heels. Fantastic.
Even though the crowd erupted.
Oh, yeah.
When this happened.
But to the casual fan or people who don't really know them, suddenly they do that to a team that are faces, you instantly want to hate them.
Yep.
I loved it. Loved it.
It was Biggie and Xavier Woods, who I was surprised with. Against the Revival.
And
the Revival wins with the Shatter Machine on Xavier Woods.
They did it where they strategically took out each person. Big E went for that through the ropes, like diving spear and missed. Killed himself. They took out Xavier Woods, and then they destroyed Kofi Kingston's ankle.
Yeah, the same way when they took out Big Cass, they took out Kofi Kingston.
Took out the guy from TM61.
Yeah.
And didn't they also do that to Johnny...
one of the DIYs.
Yeah, I think Johnny. Whatever his name is.
Gargano?
That's the one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's getting them over as monster heels right away.
Yeah.
Like, it's showing that they are going to continue doing what they do best, and that's what I love about them. That's why they're my favorite tag team.
No flips, just fists.
Fisting the opponents.
Go hard, all day, all night.
Fisting the opponents. Ew.
Only if you're looking for a fight.
Exactly.
Say yeah.
Yeah!
Moving on, we also saw Chris Jericho supposed to get a tag match with Seth Rollins. He gets beat up by Joe and Owens.
It was a good beatdown.
Yep.
Oh, sorry, we have to quickly go back. Jericho's light-up scarf at Mania. Awesome.
Yes.
I can't believe we grazed over that.
Even though we mentioned that we're going to talk about it.
Yeah, we just did because we got too caught up. Yeah. Great, I love it. Anyways, continue on.
Yeah, that's all. It is what it is. Yep. If you want to see it, Google it. Go back on the network. Watch it. It was a little bit of all right.
It was a little bit of all right.
Yep. The greatest scarf of all the time.
All the time.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they need a mystery opponent. Kurt Angle, which, by the way, he was named as general manager.
Yes.
Hilarious. Loved it. It's a big throwback to him, Edge, and Christian stuff. I thought he was very funny, but he was still professional about it. I liked what he did. Yeah. And I think he'll be a good general manager. He
actually kind of, not really directly told Big Cass and Enzo, but kind of mentioned after Big Cass spelt soft, SAWFT,
That's not how you spell it.
Yeah, that's how you spell saw, which was really funny. But yeah, so anyway, Kurt Angle tells Seth Rollins he was going to find him a new partner.
And it was a big old hint to somebody who's been doing house shows.
Yep, and it ended up being the return of Finn Balor.
Finnegan Balor.
Finnegan Ballerina.
And that made a certain Miss Meniac uber happy.
Yep, and she wasn't even in the car.
Yeah.
So, no Raw. It was actually really good.
Yeah. The crowd was super hot all night. Kudos to the crowd.
And the one thing that we're actually glaring over was Vince McMahon came out before he announced Kurt Angle's the new GM, said next week we're going to shake things up.
A superstar shakedown or shake-up or whatever he called it.
Superstar shake-up.
And that's interesting. It's basically, I wouldn't say it's like the draft, but I mean, it sounds like they'll be trading people.
Now my thing is Michael J. Fox going to be hosting this Raw?
Ooh, you almost hope so.
I mean, or is, yeah, maybe he'll shake, rattle, and roll.
So we're going to see some JTG and Shad?
No, I'm just kidding. He won't rattle and roll. He'll just shake.
Okay.
But yeah, so yeah, it'll be interesting to see who stays on Raw, who gets moved to SmackDown, all that jazz.
It'd be sweet to have AJ go over to Raw and join the Good Brothers. That'd be cool. And Dean Ambrose. And
Or will we see
Shield
Or will we see the club move to SmackDown?
That'd be cool. And have Ambrose move to Raw, have the Shield for him again. That'd be alright.
Yeah. But yeah, and then this kind of leads us to SmackDown, where we see.
Keep in mind, I haven't watched it. I just read spoilers, so I don't quite know exactly what happens.
So we ended up seeing Bray Wyatt and the returning Eric Rowan.
Yep, he just did a return, but then...
They were in a tag match between Luke Harper and Randy Orton.
Which I've heard was not bad.
Oh. We also saw Dean Ambrose and Baron Corbin in a street fight, which I heard was excellent.
Yes, excellent. Way better than the Mania match. We saw Kurt Hawkins doing one of those random open challenges. Hints, you have 10 seconds, and who should show up? Number 10 himself, Ty Dillinger.
Yep.
Welcome aboard.
Yep.
And then later on, The Miz and Maurice, I guess we're doing something more Total Bella stuff, which I think is hilarious.
Yep. They announced that they were actually leaving WWE.
Like as
Cena and Nikki Bella.
I like it.
And then guess who's entering the world of WWE? But the king of strong style, Shinsuke Nakamura. And he had the violinist.
Oh, from this first takeover?
Yeah.
Nice.
Well, not the very first one, but
the black guy.
Yeah, but that wasn't from his first one. His first one was against Sami Zayn.
No, I mean like the first time he used violinist.
Yeah.
That's cool.
One thing we also mentioned about Raw was Brock Lesnar came out to do his heavyweight Universal
thing,
ring, and then Braun Strowman came out.
Yeah, which was kind of strange because what's his name? Paul Heyman there was alluding to having a match between Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns being the only two who have ever defeated.
Saying that the two from 23 and 2 were destined to fight over for the Universal title.
One-on-one, yes.
And see who the best was. Then this brings out Braun Strowman.
The fact that Braun Strowman came out, I like that. I
like the dynamic of what this could be.
Yeah.
So I'm very curious to see if they go full board and do Braun Strowman, Brock Lesnar.
That would be sweet.
But Braun Strowman actually retreated.
For now.
And then, by jumping back to SmackDown. So, I mean, Shinsuke Nakamura, that should be absolutely amazing moving forward.
Yep.
So, again, I mean, when it came to call-ups already from NXT, we saw the Revival, Ty Dillinger,
Shinsuke Nakamura. Yeah. And, if we're going to swing over to 205 Live, Oney Lorcan, apparently, I don't know if he just did a one-off match or if he's up there for good now.
Yeah.
And something that you've alluded to a couple weeks ago, apparently the top 5 guys from the UK tournament showed up on 205 Live as well.
Yeah. So maybe, Vince, you are listening.
Just give us a little credit here.
I guess I also didn't talk about this idea beforehand with Bray and Randy. So maybe...
Well, not on here. To me, it did, but...
Yeah, I mean... So... but with that said, it's... You know, I mean, it's common knowledge that Vince should just be calling for ideas, or at least us for ideas.
Yes, he should.
So, I mean, that's his fault.
Yes. Wow, this felt almost as long as Mania.
Yeah.
Should we go into other stuff? I have a few other things that, if there's time, if you...
You know what? Let's save it for the next one.
Okay.
Because by this time next week, I mean, we're pretty much right at the NHL playoffs. So, I mean, we can talk about everything else non-wrestling.
And here, I will leave it off with this. The one thing that we talked about the other day.
Mm-hmm.
If NHL hockey players were to suddenly be WWE superstars, who would be faces and who would be heels? We will give our take next week. And next week, as well as this week, and every week, is sponsored by whatamaneuver.net, where you can buy classic vintage OWE gear and current, reigning, and amazing struggle t-shirts and onesies. Which
now, we're going to kind of rebrand. We're not going to be called The Struggle.
We are
Tag Struggle.
Tag
Struggle!
Yeah, we are.
Which you can follow at Tag Struggle on the Twitter. Or you can follow this podcast
at The Struggle SOS.
Which will be changed to at Tag Struggle SOS soon.
Assuming that it's available. I would assume it would be, but...
Oh, I will lay down a mother,
A mother trucker.
A mother Canucker.
A mother... Ew. They're not in the playoffs, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. They got stuff to do now. They don't have anything to do in April.
Golf, I guess.
And, no, they're gonna... The mother Canuckers are not gonna play golf. They're gonna get their holes filled.
Ah, yes.
By the golf bees.
Glory holes for the Canucks.
Yeah, 18.
18 glory holes for the Canucks.
4.
Ew.
I don't know.
You can also follow all 3 of the members of The Struggle.
Yep.
Sorry, Tag Struggle.
Tag Struggle.
Tag Struggle! At Shaun Martens.
At Wrestlemania.
And at Chris Perish. Also, on the Instagram, at Chris.Perish? Or is it just Chris Perish? I don't know how
Chris.Perish.
Okay, I don't know how Instagram works. Does Shaun Martens have an Instagram? I don't know.
Well, he probably does, but...
I don't know. I don't go on Instagram.
No, I don't really Instagram. I just showed a baby picture of myself, though, on Instagram.
Baby struggles.
Baby Perish.
Baby struggles, which you can get a baby onesie.
Exactly.
It all ties together, folks!
I should Photoshop a baby struggle onesie on myself.
You should.
That'd actually be really funny.
Yes, it would.
Yeah, that will be coming.
Yes.
So
I guess for that's it for this week.
But we, if you also want to go back and watch and listen to other episodes of The Sound Struggle,
you can do it on the Google Play,
the Podbean,
and the iTunes.
Yes.
And you just have to follow the Edmonton Sports Podcast Network.
Yeah. And but I mean, just our stuff, because we're the only thing worth listening to.
Well, the other stuff's okay, I guess. I mean, if you want to put on some background music for like dinner and that, and then you all settle in around the fire and turn on The Sounds of Struggle.
Yeah. Best show ever. And do it right now.
Or I'll find you and I will steal your dog and break all your china cabinets. With china.
Ugh.
Yeah. Think about that.
I don't want to.
Exactly.
That's not very nice.
We don't get paid to be nice. We get paid to win.
Yeah.
Which we could even... No, I don't want to get into that. That just made me angry.
Yeah.
We'll leave that out.
You know what doesn't make us angry?
What?
Beer.
Ooh, we should go have some!
Yes. Because beer is just like Tag Struggle. We're real and spectacular! Beer.
When your heart's pounding out of your chest, you can feel the room shaking as you're running out of breath. If you're ready to rock, we'll just let it roll. Are you ready now? Are you ready to move with me? Just move with me. Move with me. Come on, get up and move.